Hello everyone, we are playing Legacy 2nd Edition with the Gauntlet. This will be our second sessions. Uh, we have the Gauntlet inclusivity policy in place. It's an open table, so free to leave whenever you want. We also are going to be using safety tools, namely the X card. So if any moment you feel the game is going in a direction in which you're not comfortable with, just signal on the chat or on the video. Just make everything known so that we can roll over that and make the changes to something you are safe with. And we also have script change, which is a more curated tool so that when you are feeling that you are going into territory that you might not be entirely okay with, so that things can slow down and be more carefully curated. And lastly, we have the preemptive tool of lines and veils, which anything that you feel you don't want to deal with today, just add them to the lines and veils, and we'll be careful to take that into consideration. Uh, we are last session we ended up discovering that whoever been making these attacks against the venue by planting those mines and that has been trying to undermine the activity of sledgehammers and poisoning the goodwill supplies given by the Hadik to the population of Bridgetown, has their base in the haunted offshore research facility that is deep in the outskirts of Bennu territory. And the Confederation of the three families has sent a strike team to end up with this threat once and for all. So we're gonna start by making quick characters. So each of you go around and say from which family they want to make a quick character, because that is going to determine your inheritance and your gear. So let's start on the order of the sheet. So in this case, we start with Vasilis.
Yes, so I'm, uh, I guess I'm open to any family, but I'd say I'll play let's see, a Hadik maybe. Should I also pick a playbook at the moment, or is this
No,
quick
it's a
characters
quick.
not don't need? Yeah,
Yeah, it's a quick character. So
yeah.
a quick character, just.
I mean, it's if Aska is okay with me playing. Okay, cool. So yeah, Hadik. Let's try Hadik.
Okay, so a quick character is basically you have your inheritance moves, your equipment, and you pick one of the moves that you can get from the different families to choose. I think it's 5 or 6 that each family has. And then you also pick up a role of the character. So, yeah, we're going to go through that soon. So, next it's Pavel. So, what do you pick?
Yeah, I think I'll be playing the young member of the Sledgehammers.
Okay, next, Asbjorn, what do you pick?
Yeah, I think I'll play a member of the Hadik as well.
And Scott?
I'm going to go ahead and play the Bennu since this is a threat directly to their territory. It's right on the edge of our holdings. So I'm going to play a Bennu.
Okay, so we have on the tab for quick characters. So just start filling one of them for each of you, and that should be enough for us to start. So let's just go through to the process of zooming in. You can make so when you zoom in, you have extra equipment that you can add. So so on the gear, each of the gear has tags, and you have tags that are open to every family. So every family can have weapons with the melee and ranged attack, and all families have outfits with the tags utility, camo, and regal. Beyond that, you have different types of tags that have different benefits that you can spend surplus to add. So basically, beyond your basic equipment of the family, you, for each point of surplus that you have, you can add extra tags to the equipment that of your characters when they go there. And you also might have moves that influence that, especially among the choices. Beyond adding tags, you can also get equipment to the rest of the party. So if there is something that your family has, but you think everyone should have, you can spend one of these points of surplus instead to make sure that everyone has. And you can also get extra followers or increase the quality of your followers. Or lastly, but not least, you can also get extra data by spending those surplus on scouting.
And the role, we just choose one of the from the drop-down menu. Is this the role for each character?
Yeah, and each of them has different benefits.
Okay.
Yeah. So the basic stacks of a quick character are +1, -1, and 2 zeros. And then you get the family bonus depending on the family which your character comes from. The sheets don't have the moves. We have to check on the reference playbooks.
if we will introduce new family in this mission, I'm afraid my character is going to blow up this facility to. I'm really afraid of this. Coming there with a bunch of enforcers, a speedboat. Oh, nasty.
Wait, is everyone an outsider?
There's an agent in there, so
Are the area where we are going still considered to be inside the settled lands or not?
What do you mean?
Because there is the move Wastelands Survival. I'm really curious if this will come into play or not.
Which move?
Wasteland Survival is like a character move when you navigate through the wasteland outside of settled lands. That's why I ask if the area where we are going is
I
considered.
would say that you get the benefit of the move, even if it's kind of on the fringe. So I think for purposes of the moves can fit both of the qualifications.
So if I understood you correctly, even if I don't have like in my family like gear that are clothing, I can still choose a basic outfit with no additional tags.
Yeah, basically yes. There are these tags that are always free, either melee ranged, utility, camo, regal, or if it's a vehicle, one off between land, water, air, or space. So there's always this core defining tag that is common to all families that you can always get.
Sledgehammers are coming there to wage war, lumbering warboat enforcers. I'm wonder if anyone comes there to talk. Oh yeah, someone comes there to talk. Good, good.
Vasilis, I think your character gets the same gear as me.
Okay,
This-
thanks. Yeah, I wasn't sure where to get those. Yeah, so okay, I just copy pasted. And the inherited move is that.
If you look at the Hadik or the cultivator's playbook, you can choose one of the inheritance moves there, and you also get either +1 to sway or to lore.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Yeah, I saw that one, the +1, but I haven't seen the inheritance. Okay, so I just choose one of these.
Yeah,
Okay,
you need to go
thanks.
to the PDF.
Yep.
you have the same basic equipment, but you can spend the gear tags on different ways.
I don't think there's a quick move, right, or a kit out, tool up.
Yeah, tool up.
You also get a free extra tag on the pedigree animals, so you can give them an extra tag just by the way they are written.
Yeah. Maybe we can spend, or I can tool up more later, because I think it's too much to.
Yeah, I mean, we are still, this is our first zoom in, so it can just retroactively add tags. Yeah. Okay, once Vasily speaks an inherited move, we can start and fill in anything else that we need later.
So I'm leaning towards an animal companion, although I'm not sure if a mount is going to be able to to follow me in the research facility, but why not? Yeah, let's say they can.
I think you also can choose aquatic, so it can be.
Ah.
I think maybe so.
Yeah, it's mount, land, and then you pick between air, water, swifty, or mighty. So you
Okay.
can pick air and water, and maybe it will have an easier time.
Yeah, maybe an amphibian or water. So okay, so I think I'm ready. Sorry for the delay.
No
Yeah.
problem. Everyone is still pretty much learning.
Yeah.
It's a big chunky system. Okay, so I'm gonna give the opening scene. It's dark. All you have is the stars reflected on the debris on the space, and there is the faint light of the old markers of whatever borders this once was, and the strange fires that cannot sometimes be seen erupting from the volcano or the Bishop carrier ships. And then you hear this terrifying roar, and we see these absolutely monstrosity of a lumbering war rig that has been somehow made into an amphibious land ship. So, Pavel, what kind of massive warship does the Sledgehammers have deployed?
I think we see like a. It looks similar to what to what was used in the landing in the Normandy. It's like a big boats with like a wheels underneath so that it can drive. It has like a high sides, and inside we see like a bunch of troops. At the back of it, it's almost only really like an engine and we see like a young man wearing some military clothing behind the steering wheel, just like trying to find his way through this like dark night. And it's like it's like a landing boat that you would use to land on a beach and deploy your troops, like a high size to protect from the fire, and they're like the group of the enforcers over there. Yeah.
So, as you go opening the path, we see the more subtle forces of the Bennu and the Hadik that are using the ocean as their cover. So, why don't you tell us what the Bennu sent to take control of the world under the waves, Scott?
Sure, this is it's a submersible, and it's shaped similar to a ray or a skate in that it has kind of flattened wings out the side, and the wings can be retracted or left out. Um, it's it almost looks like a um, a sea creature itself. Obviously, it's you as you get closer, you can tell it's not. But it's the color of the water. It doesn't have any bright colors to make it stand out. And those inside are a mixture of um, warriors and scouts and some people who are better at talkie stuff. So they've come a little prepared for whatever the situation might be.
And an unusual bigger delegation seems to be about the creatures raised by the Hadik, and they seem to have brought a lot of rangers along them. Now, what animal shows shows the strong connection to the Hadik and Bennu? What kind of creature bred by the Hadik shows how close they were at some point from the Bennu? So why don't you answer that, Hasbjorn?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe because we have a lot of animals apparently, but so it might get a little bit silly. Maybe it's like a large salamander that we're riding on, and it's an amphibian, obviously. So it's maybe also they carry the genes that made the Bennu into this merfolk hybrids.
Okay. Now we see also beyond the salamander, we see some more intelligent creatures that are not as lumbering, and they show how much the Hadik have taken to the new environment and ecology, and taking efforts to accommodate and integrate the different species that share the wasteland with humanity. Which of those creatures is Akhtar's companion, Vasilis?
So yeah, I think I also mentioned it would be a water creature, but maybe if it's or an amphibian. But if it's a creature that shows the evolution of the haddock, perhaps it would be very fast, something that moves fast, and it's a small size, so medium sized. It looks like a large beaver, but it moves fast on ground and in the water. So it sort of can adapt to both water and sand or ground. So it's a medium sized rodent, I would say.
So as you are fast approaching, suddenly the water is disturbed, and you can see one of the massive World War II style mines that have been planted around the borders of the Bennu territory. Something similar appears on the horizon and it explodes. And before you even approach, you are aware of at least dozens of different mines and different types of traps all around the offshore platform. It seems that you're going to have to navigate this terrifying minefield if you are to approach it. And we got to the biggest of the land sea war rigs, in which four characters, the self-declared leaders of the different factions on this mission, are discussing what they will do to address this considerable defense that they have before them. So let's go starting now back with Akhtar. So what we see Akhtar doing on this meeting?
I think Akhtar is also a rebel in the sense that he doesn't. He's more interested in the roots of the haddock, so that's why he's here. He wants to explore the Bennu facility, and he doesn't trade, for example, in livestock. And he's here. He's caressing his rodent pet on the side, who is agitated for some reason, and he's scanning the horizon, and he's also trying to sense if his animal companion can sense immediate dangers in the ground, in the form of mines or something else that's hidden. So he's trying to he's looking ahead and also trying to sense what his companion is feeling. And he's silent. I think he doesn't talk to the rest at this point. He has been called back to take part in this in this expedition, but he's still a bit onto his own. So
okay, and we see then the other member of the haddock, Hakima, what she's doing on this meeting of leaders.
Yeah, I think she got sent there because it's important that the hadith are represented and to be seen as working with the Bennu and the sledgehammers is important for their image. She doesn't much like the sledgehammers or the Bennu. She likes plants, but she helps to find something in this research station. And she doesn't really like Akhtar either. Right now, she likes plants, basically. And she's only here to get some strains new strains of plants and plant DNA, and hopefully interact as little as possible with the other people.
Next, we see Nara, the representative of the Bennu contributions to this warband. What she's doing, considering that the idea seems to be reluctant allies and more interested in their personal and family endeavors.
Well, she's here. Nara's here primarily selected because she has more experience living on the outskirts and interacting with those more dissimilar to the Bennu, in the hopes that obviously her ability to survive may come in handy, but also her her ability to make connections with people, even those who may initially start as enemies.
And lastly, we see the captain of this ship, Patrick Sledgehammer Jr. And what we see Patrick doing, and how do we know that he thinks that he is the leader of this warband?
We see him standing behind the steering wheel of this lumbering warboat, and he's like slightly above everyone else, and so he just like looks down at the others who are like inside the boat, and he like steps away from the like steering wheel. We see he wears like a desert military clothing, which is completely not good for hiding yourself, but this is like the flagship of the sledgehammers. The sledgehammers like use this uniform when they want to be recognized, because it's like not practical here. and he stands and he steps away from the steering wheel, and he looks at the other emissaries of the other families, and he looks and he says, Agdar and Hakima, maybe you can like send your like this like animals, and they can like clear the way of all the mines, so we can get there with the warring.
Then Hakima probably looks over to Agdar and says, "Yeah, go. You're better with all those animals, aren't you?"
Isn't that one way to announce ourselves to them?
The mine, one of the mines has already blew up, so they know someone is coming. The best way to do is to get there as soon as possible before they can mount defense.
Surely a stray mine here, a stray mine there is going off all the time. There must be a way for us to navigate a path through here without striking one of these.
Very well, Nara. And very well, Nara. You seem like to be a competent person. What's your solution to the problem of the mines? Like, I cannot drive a war rig between them. I will risk everyone's life here. You are muted.
Yep. Well, that's true. Ideas? Anyone? I must admit, this is the first time I've traveled with a warband. I am a bit unfamiliar with some of your ways and methods.
Patrick comes to the side of the boat, and he looks on all of your like allies that like they're in the water, and he just like looks at them and maybe you can make use of them. Like, I don't know, they seem to be able to swim underwater. Maybe they can swim and tell us where they see the mines, and then I can follow them with the warring.
You were talking about the beavers, right?
I'm looking at Nara's. I'm trying to pronounce it. Something allies.
Oh, Nara. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Cetacean.
Yeah, cetacean allies. I'm looking at them.
Cetacean is like a whale, basically.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry, I'm not native speaker.
That's okay. That's actually not an English word. That one must be from the Latin or Greek. Let's see. Sure, we may be able to follow a navigation path through them. How wide is, out of character, how wide is this war rig and how long? What's the...
Let me gather my thoughts, looking at my room. I suppose 3 meters wide, 7-8 meters long.
Okay.
Should be enough space for a couple of people and a squad of troopers over here. Unless we want it to be massive, but it should be able to transport 10 to 20 people, I believe. So
Okay, that makes sense. All right, yeah. So 3 to 8, 3 by 8.
yeah.
Yeah. Is it, what time of day are we approaching?
It's night,
It's
because
night.
you were planning a surprise ride.
All right, I will. I think that's a really good idea. Is it Patrick? It is Patrick.
Yes.
I think that's a really good idea, Patrick. Let me speak to them, and we can follow them quietly. Hopefully, hopefully they can navigate us a way through for us.
Okay, I think there are two ways to solve this. So one is Nara tells them what to do and lets them do. Another is if Nara takes the lead of the dolphins or whales or orcas or whatever it is, this particular case, and leads them across the mines. So
I think let's get the active character out there. Let's do that. So I'll lead them. They'll swim at a width similar to the war rig, so ensuring that whatever path I find is navigable, and we hope for the best. And if there's any casualties, well, I guess it would just be me.
okay, so in this case,
To the whole war rig.
okay, in this case, you are forging a path and you are operating with increased actions breadth. So basically, if you're going to succeed, you are going to give to let the entire expedition go through instead of the limited. So gonna forge a path which is going to be with plus force.
Okay, that's +0 for me. Sorry, I've got to switch between tabs. I play on a single screen. And I got a 5. Could use a little assistance.
Okay, so you can call for aid. You can say what other character nearby can do to boost your efforts. If the group agrees, the helper says how they do it and roll the appropriate stat.
Sure. So while I right before I jump in, I turn and say, I'll be in and under the water. If someone could spot on the surface, just to make sure there's not something that I've missed, I'll be able to hear you. I won't be far enough under the water. Just call out, and we set up some kind of signal sound that isn't a word, but more like a seabird or something, like "ka" or something.
Okay. So what I'm picturing is Nara makes a lot of progress with the help of the cetacean allies. She's managed to cover a whole lot of ground, and she seems to be getting a very clear picture of where the mines are and a way to pass with the war rig and the submergible. The thing is, as she getting close, she finds out that there are more than mines around, and there are some intricate fiber web arrays that act like nets, and a lot of their allies, they are trapped on these nets. And as Nera pulls out underwater knife to cut them free, she realizes that the mines are tied to the nets, and all these struggling and attempts to release them are getting two mines dangerously close to each other. And she has the opportunity to call out for one of the others to help them.
Maybe the beavers, because they're fast and cunning, right? So they can
They've got
swim
those
after and use their teeth. Yeah, on the it's probably quite tough. So the knives of the Bennu won't help, but the bioengineered teeth of the attack beavers will be enough to split the net.
So you call for Akdar or for Akima?
That's up to Bennu.
I call for, so let's see.
I think anyone can answer the call for aid.
Yeah, basically, all it matters is who you call. Anyone can answer, depending on if they want to.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just signal assistance, and hopefully whoever's in control of the beavers is the one who responds. These beavers are awesome, by the way. Such a great idea.
So who answers the calls, and do they send the beavers alone or go alongside the beavers?
Maybe Akhtar has the best connection.
Yeah, I think although I'm not part of all the Hadik, I'm a bit of a rebel. I think Akhtar has a good connection with. So first of all, his own pet beaver. He's a bit larger, and this beaver has a leadership role in the squad of beavers waiting alongside the war rig. So I think Akhtar will go with. Let's give a name to the to the companion. I don't know.
Benny the beaver.
Benny. Okay, yeah. It could be Benny. So Akhtar and Benny. So Akhtar feels that Benny has feels something is wrong. So Benny feels something wrong, and he jumps in the water, and Akhtar follows the squad of the beavers. I don't know if Akhtar would go just swimming, or if there is some kind of a smaller boat that he would follow the squad with. I think that maybe the Warwick has some small, almost lifeboats that he can use that are ready. And I think so. Akhtar follows he goes along with the beavers to help disentangle the net from the mines that are about to collide.
Okay, so why don't you give me a call for aid roll? So
Call for aid. Actually, can you remind me how I pick dice? Because this is the second time I use roll for party. I need to pick a color.
yeah, basically you write the value there, then you pick a color, then you write a label.
So I do 2d6 and then I pick color. Okay, yeah. Orange, and then I do reroll selected or submit. For the first time. First time you submit. Okay.
Yeah. And I think, Ludo, you need to decide on the stat because it's plus some relevant stat.
Yeah. So on this case, because the thing that you're trying to do is, to actually interfere directly, I'm going to do a steal because you have a clear target that you want to destroy. So you add steal.
Okay, so it's +1, and then I just select the dice and do reroll selected. I haven't put a name on my dice. 2 orange dice, reroll selected. Okay.
If yours are orange, you don't have to put a label. No one knows.
Okay. So it's an 8.
Okay, so okay, we upgrade the result to a 7-9, and they have to share your move's consequence. So yeah, so Nara, you get 7 or 9 on your forger pet. You have to pick 2 consequences. So you are exposed to danger as you travel. The route you took is lost. You cannot take gear or other characters with you. You take a lot longer than expected.
So the route we took is lost, and I want to avoid more dangers as we go along. So I think we're going to take a bit longer than expected.
Okay, so as this happens, you realize that you cannot go back to reunite with the rest of the group. So you're gonna have to make your landfall on the on the offshore platform on a different site. So as you and your animal allies do this, you cut the ropes, you escape at the last minute, but the mines collide with each other and explode, and this makes the waters muddier, and it's impossible to navigate under them, and also changes a bit of the positioning which you are. So you have to take a longer path and your own path to the offshore platform. Meanwhile, as far as the others know, they were successful and you have a clear path. So Hakima and Patrick, you make your way to the offshore platform, and it's quite impressive. It seems to be on a surprisingly well maintained state. You can hear the soft humming of generators from within. The metal rigs outside of the platform, they have been cleaned. There is barely any sea life growing about it, and you can see blinking lights on top. What do you do?
All right, man. This is the moment why we came here. We are here to learn who are our enemy, assess their level of danger, and act accordingly. We will swim to the nearest entry point, and then everyone climb. I will take the lead. Try not to fire first. Let's assess who are we dealing with. So I will like steer the boat to come to some kind of ladder that leads up from the ground from the sea level, and I will start climbing. Of course, leading by example and climbing us up first.
And now Akhtar is with. Sorry, I forgot the name of the Benu character.
Nara.
Nara, yeah. And I'm with Pavel.
Yeah, they got delayed and they're going to join you later.
Yeah, so Hakima, she says, yes, of course, lead the way with sort of this bright smile on her face. And she also lets the rangers that are accompanying and protecting her go up first, and then she follows, looking for sort of trying to take in what kind of facility this was, observing from the back.
Okay, so why don't you give me an unearthed forgotten lore?
So that's a 10, I think. Yeah, lore +2.
Okay, so you gain one. Yeah, you gain one data, and you can ask 3 questions.
All right. So I'll ask what danger is it hiding, and how can I turn it to my advantage, and where is it drawing power from?
You can get from the power cables, you can get a feeling about the generators, and you see between right in the middle of the offshore place itself, it seems to be some kind of small fusion reactor that seems to be powering this, and this is what is keeping the facility operating. And as for dangers, considering the status of it and how well the generator is running, there are probably a lot of automated defenses that are along on the place. And from what you know about it being rumored to be haunted, you think that those automatic defenses are what is behind these rumors. And how can you turn to this advantage is that this place still has an operational long-range communication tower, and that if the generator is still working and somehow sees control of the facility, you gonna be able to access it.
So I think, and maybe Hakima is thinking to herself that she's afraid that if she tells Patrick to shut down the reactor to power down the defenses, then the long-range communicator will be damaged or won't start up again if they get the reactor working. So she, yeah, I think she keeps it to herself, at least for now.
So as Pratik is climbing with his troops, he immediately sees a lot of cameras as they get to the first floor, and they can see a very well equipped, overgrown with something laboratory from within, and shadows moving inside. And they so far have maintained to stay away of the range of the cameras, but the fact that they are turning around the perimeter means that they are active.
I think she will say that, Patrick, you better watch out. There's likely a lot of automated defense systems here. We'll take all your mighty warrior ability to fend them up. Please help us.
Let's see if we can move around it. Men, grab the lines. We will hang ourselves on the outside of the platform and crawl on the outside to get around there into this laboratory.
Okay, so I guess that's a forger bet. Or a diffuse. I don't know which might be more appropriate if you have an alternative solution.
But
Forge
me,
of Hazard's force, which probably is your strength, right?
situation is changed unless what can be provided technology.
Yeah, it could be diffuse actually. If we're
I don't know. Just tell me what to roll and we will see. I don't know really.
Yeah, just to roll with force.
It's on 11.
Okay, so you are able to get maneuver around, and you manage to climb alongside the metal rims between separating the first and second floor of the laboratories, and you manage to make to the massive ventilation shafts that are used to maintain the chemical hoods of the research center, and they are wide enough that a man can crawl into. And hoping that there are no experiments in course, you can just drop through them into the first floor laboratories.
This sounds like an excellent, very crazy idea. We are doing it. We are, of course, like opening the shafts and like jumping down, weapons ready. And I think the option I pick is that we are exposed to danger as we travel. And yeah, and off we go for the shafts.
Okay, so as soon as you drop, you are not able to see what is happening on the second floor. And as you make your way through the shaft, you can hear footsteps above, and you can hear the soft, continuous spinning noise of a Gatling gun as it prepares to shoot, and you feel it being pointed out to the vents where you are.
And we're all with them.
I don't think you were, unless you want to be.
No, that sounds like we don't want to be.
Yeah, because it kind of takes experts to get there. But you can help.
So we're on top and they are rappelling down.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I will probably like shout back. So I will shout up to the shaft, up through the shaft with all my enforcers behind me. I will shout Hakima, find some panel, like turn off this defenses on the lower level.
Okay, so Hakima, why don't you give me a diffuse with technology? So lore.
Yeah, I'm probably looking for a panel. Yeah. Let's see. Ooh, that's a 12.
Okay, amazing. So you, on your despair, you try to think. Okay, you spend a lot of time on Hadik laboratories, and just thinking, okay, where will I put those things? And you get to one of the panel fuse boxes, and you found a way to define priority targets, and you quickly snap them and fix them back together so that the safety systems give priority to targets on the first floor. And as that system is rebooting, you can hear the Gatling gun stopping to spin, giving Patrick precious time to act.
Cool. So I suppose I will like kick the vent open, jump down from the shaft, and and take a look, because we are finally inside this laboratory. Are there some people over here? Are there not? I suppose my enforcers are jumping down from the gate, from the exit of the shaft after me.
Yeah.
So what do we see?
You jump down and weapons drawn, expecting to see the shadows that you saw moving from the outside, and you see people dead, bleeding on the floor, just killed by the changing priorities on the safety system. And we get to the other half of the group. You finally made your way up into the base of the offshore platform. You are at the base of one of these massive concrete and metal pillars that go deep into the water, and you can see at the distance the boats and the animals of the group. There is a maintenance shaft that goes all the way into the water next to you, and you feel that you can climb it. Not only that, you see a boat abandoned next to it.
Does it look, in terms of abandoned, does it look older? Does it look like it's been there quite some time, or is it just, I don't know, is it like, is it being held in place with like new line, new rope? Any indication that this is something that is theirs and not just a remnant of the prior culture?
You know that it's something that is not just arrived, but you can see by the way it is well maintained, by the way it's anchored, but also from the way it has been kind of, how to say, built upon. Is that someone was trying to salvage this boat into a base of operation, and they probably are here only for a few months.
What do you think? Should we check it out?
Yeah, I think Agdar is curious about it, but he would cautiously approach the. I think I cautiously approach the boat, and with Benny by my side also, and Nara, if you want to follow.
Yeah, I think so. Let's approach.
So as you approach the boat, you can see men and women wearing diving suits and some kind of metal armor and helmet. And they seem to be carrying machine guns as they go around.
How they spotted us?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, well, the first reaction is I think I take cover. I try to take cover, or try to not be, try to conceal a bit. And as I watch them, do they seem to be patrolling? It's almost like a patrol, or are they guarding the shaft or the boat?
They are guarding the shaft and also the path to the boat. So they are basically going from one corner of the boat where they seem to be their living installations and to the other port, which is leading right underneath the shaft. So they are going back and forth. They're not leaving the boat, but their eyes are on the shaft and on the environment. You are pretty confident that if you stay where you are hidden now, if you don't approach the shaft, they will not notice you.
Mm-hmm.
So if we, do you have your breathing apparatus with you? Everybody has access to breathing apparatus.
I think it makes sense that I retroactively, that I do have it with me.
Okay, so
from the equipment, yeah.
I'm going to try to use my inheritance ability. So if we could approach the boat closer, my breathing apparatus allows me to puff out vapors that intoxicate those around you. And I'm trying to get close enough that I can do that, and so that the vapors intoxicate this group of what look like, I guess, to us like soldiers. I mean, they've got weapons, so and see if that makes any see if that disorients them in any way.
Well, they have masks. You don't know if they have breathing apparatus on their masks, but they have masks.
Oh, poo. Way to go, Ludo.
It's uncertain. Pretty much, if you get the 7 or 9, that's how I will justify it.
And
if you get the 10, they don't have breathing.
I mean, I guess they wouldn't. Well, what do you think?
How long is the patrol route? So it's one point is the shaft and the other end is the boat, or is it something else? What was the other end point of the patrol?
Yeah, it's pretty much where they have the part of the boat in which they made living habitats. Mm-hmm. So it takes around 20 minutes for them to go around.
Okay, and is it like they're going in a circle, or is it like a straight line where they go back and
forth?
They
are a bit irregular, They seem that they've been here at the month, so it's like at some points they just stop to chat with each other. At times they just rush from one point to another. At some points,
I mean,
just take random breaks.
We could maybe tell the beavers to make a distraction to distract them so that the bulk of the patrol goes one way, and then we try to sneak in. But how many are they again? We said it was a group. Did we say how many?
You can see 5 of them outside.
5. Okay. I'd say we can have I think the beavers, at least some of the beavers, are still in the water behind. Maybe we could I could instruct some of them to go towards another, so the other side of this bay. Maybe flap their tails in the water, create some sound, and then some of the guards at least go there, and then we deal with the rest before we try the breathing, the poison breath. What is it again? The breathing
apparatus. Okay, so give me an under order roll. So you're gonna roll plus quality. So in the case of the beavers, they are quality 2 beavers. So go with +2.
So the +2 comes from our quality, from the livestock. Okay, from the quality of the family. Okay, I do. Okay, it's a 9. So +2, 11.
Okay, so you get quite the nice distraction, and you send the beavers and paddling on the water, and you see first the alert movements of the people as they approach, and then they see the beavers, and you can see them laughing. Even a few of them take out their masks to be more comfortable and to laugh at the beavers. And some of them seem to be throwing food at them, and they seem to be welcoming the distraction that the presence of beavers means.
And did some of them stay at the entrance of the shaft, or did they all?
No, they are all on the opposite end, which I assume is you send them to where they usually live. So they also have a lot of walls obstructing the view of the shaft. So you can now ambush them or make your way through the shaft.
Nara, I think it's time to act. Should we go in, or I think I'd say we go in. I don't know if we can handle all of them, but we can try if you want.
That I prefer going in. 5 people with guns, even distracted, it doesn't bode well for me. Not with what I'm, used to.
Okay, so I think we're gonna try to move fast towards the Benny included. Move fast towards the entrance of the shaft.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you climb your way up to the shaft, and we get to the next group, why don't we take a break? Let's take 10 and come back.
Sounds good.
Okay, we got back to Patrick, and you are laying on this somehow still sterile laboratory full of tables with glassware and technological apparatus that you don't recognize. Well, it was sterile. Now there are 4 bodies lying on the floor, filled with cauterized wounds from laser guns, and you turn around to see, walking through the corridors, exactly what killed them. 2 drones of the sort that your family tells horror stories about, the terrifying drones that patrol the limits of the metropolis. And they are still scanning the first floor for targets. You know, it's only a question of minutes before they lock on you. What will you do?
Well, it isn't the first time Patrick has seen these drones. I think he quickly, in a professional way, shows his men to take positions, to hide behind some of the tables and other things here, and he shows them that as soon as the drones come, attack from both sides, ambush. Yeah, and he sends his men to, and everyone is getting ready here to take down these drones.
Okay, you get the jump on them, do a fiercely assault. So roll plus force.
It's an interesting result. It's a 9.
So you pick one and I pick 2 from the different lists.
Just because I'm so bad at it, but I really want to see it's being used. I want to scavenge a device from those drones, because why the hell not? It's going to be fun.
Okay, so you scavenge a device, and I'm gonna pick you take harm as appropriate, and the situation is destabilized and chaos will follow. So the way as I'm picturing, you open fire on the drones, you get behind the tables and you turn on them, but the drones are just way too powerful. The weaponry that they have, maybe it's because they have been protected from the elements, is way more reliable than the typical laser guns that they have. So you can feel the burn of one that as it strikes you. So take 2 harm. Armor can reduce if you have it. So you get this side burn of, and as you are put in the corner, one of your enforcers signals at something, and you see that when you turn this table, you dropped what seemed to be some kind of advanced computer. It's way more advanced than anything that you see, and it's, even if it fault, it is still operating. It's pretty thin. It's the size of I'll say a cartridge for one of your machine guns, and it has an holographic display that can just pop up, and it's there ready to use. So you acquire that device. The thing is, there is an incredible chaos, and the drones, between all the chemicals in the air, they start patrolling the laboratory looking for more targets. So you are, after trading off fire, you are trying to sneak around each other, looking for you in the middle of the combat. So what do you do? Actually, because of the chaos, probably Hakima has the fastest reaction. So Hakima, you just see, you are outside and you just see the windows exploding and you get all this acid, bitter taste of chemicals being released on the airs, and you can feel the shifts in temperature as suddenly the walls are scorched with laser fire and bullets. What do you do?
All right, so I'm gonna use my my specialty, I think, because I smell this this acidic smell, and I recognize it. It's a compound that is secreted by a special kind of plant, but this seems amplified. Like maybe it's from kelp, some sort of kelp, but they've amplified it and made it more potent.
Yeah,
I think
you can notice that this smell is exactly the smell that your people use on the cyanobacteria bioreactors that you use to incubate life forms. And you can look the smell and you can see a tubing where it is smelling from that goes from the second floor, and you are immediately aware that there is some kind of genetics laboratory on the second floor, and that what you are smelling is the feeding tubes for that. And you're pretty sure that if you go there, you're going to find some life forms you can use.
Right. So I think our yeah, I'll signal my rangers to take us to the second floor and abandon our ally Patrick.
So you're trying to make the second floor without Patrick, or you're trying to help Patrick?
Or I was wondering, did I if I wasn't sure if I revealed the secret or if it just of my agent move.
Yeah, it's basically from your agent move. So, how to say? It definitely ties with your agent move. So if you tell something, to Patrick now about this, you can get advantage. But so far, you still did not activate that.
Yeah.
But if you move on that and you tell Patrick as part of that move, yeah. For example, if you tell Patrick now through your comms that you're gonna secure something on the second floor because you believe that it's crucial life forms, that fulfills the requirements.
All right. So, but yeah, but we probably because we said that we didn't have any radio communication, right?
Yeah.
So maybe Patrick, maybe we had this wire and we this old timey backpack, with wires going. So one of the guys that Patrick has still has that functioning comlink, and I'm screaming into it because I'm not very good in pressure situations. And what's this? It's too much. It's too much. It's too much heat for us. We have to get to the second floor. Just drop everything here. Drop everything here and get to the second floor. That's where the good stuff is. And she'll run in a panic up there.
Okay, so what is Patrick's reaction to that? I mean, Patrick already has so much on his hands, and now this.
Did we at least manage to take down one of these drones or damage them or something?
They are damaged, but they are still hunting.
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose Patrick. Yeah, I'm trying to visualize our comms, and so what do we think our comms are? Do we have like personal radios, or just like one guy per squad has had this like full backpack from like a Second World War, like a one guy has comms? Like, I'm just trying to picture this.
I was wishing something like that. One guy with the big backpack, and maybe he even has to run a wire. So if that wire gets cut, then because we said in the first session that we maybe didn't have a radio communication yet.
Oh yeah. So, so there was this cable from the shaft. Yeah. So this like guys like shouts to me over this like laser fire and everything, and I like sneak to him, avoiding being shot by the drones, and I just like listen to this communication from the from Hakima, and I shout. You coward! Yeah, do whatever. Just like find something that we can use. We'll hold them up here. And I suppose he will try to organize his troops and just like shouting, fall back over here, take cover, engage the drone safely.
Okay. Why don't Akima give me a forger pad, and you are rolling with advantage.
Yeah, that's with advantage. So I get to roll 2 times. Or I get to roll 3 dice.
You roll 3 dice and keep the 2 best ones.
Yeah, that's
But
still 4.
But so what is your field of expertise as agent?
Well, it's botany.
Okay.
So this gas was from some kind of plant, kelp. But I was thinking that maybe I didn't. Maybe the secret actually is that and stop me, Ludo, if this is too much. But maybe the secret is that this gas can corrode metal.
Oh yeah, it can.
So that's what he can use if he wants. I'm screaming this. The gas. Use the gas.
That makes sense. That he can easily dispatch the still shiny drones if he gets them to the corrupting gas. Yeah, that makes sense. So, what did you get on your forger pet?
A 4.
Oh, so as you're making your way to the second floor, as you pass, you can hear a trapdoor and shouts, and you can see your rangers and your animals behind you. And as you look to see why they cannot follow you, you can hear a click, and the cold tip of a gun pointed against your head. Now, raise slowly, you hear a feminine voice. And we get to the others. So, Aktaranara, after, a very long sequence of you climbing the stairs in which some music may or not play, you make to the top, and you are on the 3rd floor, and you are on the cooling room of the reactor, and you can see the sheer bright star at the center of the nuclear reactor, and you can see the heart of plasma, and you can see the big volume of water that is being put through the turbines around it. Even for a smaller reactor, only for this facility, it's very impressive. And you have full access to the control room of this technological wonder. So what do you do?
Is there someone around, or is this abandoned because of some reason we don't know? Is it? It looks abandoned, or
Why don't you give me a nerd forgotten lore?
is this plus lore? Plus lore.
Yeah, plus lore.
Okay. Ooh, it's really bad. So even with my +1, it's a 4. So
Okay, so you let's see if this would be a valid move on my part. Okay, nasty. So you start feeling sick the longer you are on this room, and part of you tells about the invisible sickness that somehow entered some of these facilities, especially those built not immediately before the fall. And you can feel that the strong mutations and symbiosis that your family uses are especially sensitive to this. So you are drained by the cobalt radiation that seems to be emitted by the reactor. It seems to be some leak on the isolation. That's why nobody is on this room.
yeah, Tunara. I think we probably get out of here. We should probably get out of here. It's dangerous. Is the control room shielded by this, or is this is the control room actually?
This is the control
This is the
room,
control
and
room.
it's not shielded. That's why people avoid being here.
Yeah.
Um,
That is still fine because the Bennu don't have the same genetic tempering, so she's not as vulnerable as you are.
Okay.
okay, why don't this looks like it's going to get really bad for all of us, right? Not just the two of us in the room.
Um, well, you think that long-term living here, yes, might have that impact, but you get the impression that I mean, if you start living on this place, you can have problems after a few years, but it can be contained. It's not like it's an inevitable problem for the region. It's a very localized issue.
Okay. So we can either try to disable this in some way, or we could leave. What do you think?
I think Agda is gonna start getting. See, he's sweaty. I feel sick. I think I need to do. Maybe I can do something now, but I think otherwise, if we linger on, I think he's gonna try to leave the room. Do you see anything that can help us in the controls? Do you know? Have you any idea about how this works?
All I can do is try. I can give it an attempt, but I wouldn't want to keep you here, so you'd have to leave. There's no guarantee I'd survive. Uh, if I do, however, this could be something that's harnessed for the good of all of us in the future as a power source.
Yeah, maybe I think Akhtar maybe joins you for one last attempt to see if he can understand something on the controls, and then he will leave afterwards. But now he still gives another shot at
Okay, so
understand. Yeah.
I'm gonna use my outsider move. Or wait, am I the rebel? I forgot who I picked.
No, I'm the rebel. I think you are the.
You're the rebel. So you can roll I'm the outsider. Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Yes. So I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna take a harm
To
to
get
my
advantage.
to have advantage, and hope for the best. But hopefully, if you were looking over the panel with me, we can, there's a chance that if I seem to be making a mistake, maybe you can call it out to me before I do it. So I got to delete these dice.
I have a question. Are you trying to diffuse the danger constituted by the fusion reactor, or your priority is to gain mastery over the control panel and how the fusion reactor operates?
That. Because I believe that this could be good for all of us.
So unleash power with advantage and tell me how seizing control of the reactor, how you use your strange powers on it.
Okay, so I do a quick 90-second meditation, and when I'm done, my eyes have turned not black, but like a deep blue, and I'm drawing on. I tell him I'm drawing on all that our people have learned in hopes that it will help me. I've prayed to my ancestors. This is hopefully we've learned enough over the years. And with advantage, I got a 5. So I'm going to call on aid.
Okay, so
as I start pushing buttons randomly.
Yeah, so what do you tell Akhdar to get his attention to aid you?
I'm not familiar with this set of the controls. Do you think you could take a look at this one? I think I know what this one does, and we may be able to harness this, but this one seems to, I don't know, there's some aura about it that's just preventing me from
I think Akhdar at this point is almost, maybe he's even vomiting, but I'm looking at I'm trying to look over this section of the control panel. It reminds me of a mid-tier tech biofarm that my family used to have before I went off of the Hadik ways. So it reminds me of some kind of automation, I think, from that farm, and maybe I can make some sense of it or help him not just scramble around randomly pressing buttons, but push the right ones.
Give me a call for aid with lore.
All right, +1. Oop. It's a 9.
Okay, so 9. You managed to upgrade the failure to partial success, but you're going to get the consequences too. Nara, pick 2 options from Unleash Power from the list. You were muted.
Stupid mute. I'm playing the role of Alan today. Alan is always. So the device does exactly what you wanted, and it can be used again.
Oh, interesting. So you don't try to avoid side effects. Okay, so you have complete control over the system. You can reroute energy and shoot off, and you are getting a pretty good idea of where the water that is being used for the turbines goes, where the water that is used to cool the reaction goes. You have a pretty good idea where the radiation is coming. It seems to be coming from the ignited material itself. It's really not something that you can get around with, but you can just shut off any part of the offshore platform that you want. So do you turn anything on or off?
I think at this point Agdar is going back into the shaft without even waiting for the. If he's called back, he will come back, but he's hiding in the shaft with Benny.
Yeah, that's the thing. Both of you take 2 harm,
Okay.
because you're not trying to contain the effect. So you have full control over the energy of the facility, but you're getting sicker and sicker. So both of you took 2 harm because you shared on the consequences.
And we take that in the order listed on the character keeper, right? So
Yeah.
drained, then winded. Yeah.
But
so
again,
are there
you can.
defense?
Yeah.
So I'm going to disable any defense systems.
They are, the power is routed through floor, so you can put the underwater access shaft, the first floor, the second floor, the third floor, and the long range communication array. You can shut off on and off any of those. And the only one that are off now is the shaft defenses and the array.
Okay, so I'm not sure where the other folks are, but on the lower level was where the boat was with those folks. Maybe I'll turn on the defense systems there. And maybe that will help deal with them.
Sadly, after you do that, you hear a distant explosion, and then underneath you, you can see another distant explosion. And we cut to the others and the first explosion and the outcome of that. So we see at Akima, and you look at the gun, and there is this woman with blue lips and a half face mask covering scars of some chemical burn, and she has gray hair. She has strange metal armor, and again, and she's wearing a strange symbol painted on her armor, which seems to be a half moon around 3 stars. And she says, "Who are you with?"
I am Hakima of the Hadik. Who am I talking to?
Hadik, I have no quarrel with your people. Why are you invading our home?
Excellent question. Why have you set up our allies, the Sledgehammer, as the mine layers?
The Sledgehammer were considered a danger that could not be negotiated with, and the venue could constitute, let's say, a competition for this offshore facility. As for the venue, as for the Hadik, we were hoping to send emissaries, as we had gotten a proper foothold in the region.
Interesting. Well, I am sure my elders would say that we should all learn to work together. Can I ask about changing roles? Because this seems like actually a time where Hakima could turn into a rebel if she sort of betrayed her fellow expedition members.
Yeah, the rebel is more about betraying the family rather than the expedition.
Yes. So I could, if I sold out my and turned traitor or on our allies,
Yeah.
it would. But I think still that it would be a decision that her instructions sort of were to make nice and help, but she's Hakima is very interested in whatever this new faction that's on the scene is, and especially these weird plants. So she says, "Come on, it seems that we can indeed find the common ground to work towards bettering ourselves without the brutality of the sledgehammers. It's true."
She puts her gun aside and she extends you her hand. And she says, "My name is Magister Arikiv of the Enclave."
Well met, Magister. My name is Hakima of the Hadik, a narco-botanist.
Mm. She points to what seems to be some lab seats, and she sits on one of them. Behind her, you can see massive vats in which you can see from the panel, they seem to be some kind of nematodes that have been ground there. They seem to be fed the blood of some creature. As she sits behind this, we were ordered from the Enclave to get a foothold on this region. We have been having a lot of troubles on my own as we kept finding more and more drones. And this facility, it was one of the few places that has a still operating long range array. So we were planning to use this and to find other technological vaults across the wastelands. That is our main mission here. We were not supposed to interfere, but unfortunately, we were forced to make some poorly choice of deals in the process. We had to use people from the wastelands and supply them with poison and weapons in order to keep quiet.
Interesting, most interesting. And she looks around and she very clearly admires the work they do. Well, the Hadik are always interested in new advances and ways of producing. I think we could have quite a profitable cooperation. What do you need from me?
We need the long distance communication array, and we need the fusion reactor. Anything else on this facility, we are willing to give to your faction. All we need is that the Hadik end up with this nonsense assault. Take the sledgehammers and the banu away, and we'll be more than willing to let your people explore first and second floor.
Right. And can you call all these terrible drones?
Unfortunately, no. These drones are not within our control. There is a reason why they were disabled, but someone seems to have activated them And she raises an eyebrow.
Whoever could it be? Surely some tampering fool from the sledgehammers stepped into something.
Indeed, if the sledgehammers did that, they are smarter than I assumed.
You should never underestimate the power of brute force.
So, what does Akima want from Magister Arikiv?
Wait, sorry, repeat that.
So, what does Akima want to get from Magister Arikiv?
Yeah, she's very interested in this bioengineered gas, and any developments related to plants, basically, getting better crops or fusing. Because she always wanted to be a leader in the Hadik, and all leaders have modified their body in some way.
Okay, so why don't you give me a sway roll?
Mhm.
And I'm going to say you have the advantage because you want them to do something that they honestly already want to do.
So with sway, that's 8.
Okay, so you pick 2.
You pick 2. Don't you pick 2? If I'm the one
Well,
trying
you
to
pick
sway
2.
them?
Yeah, you pick 2 because you're the player. If it was against another player, then they would pick.
Then I'll pick that they get 1 treaty on me. And I'm confused. Is it me saying that they have to give me something, for example, that's worth it, or is it that I have to give them something?
Yeah, this is what they ask from you. So they ask 1
Yeah.
treaty, and in that case, they will ask you something valuable.
Yeah. Then I guess I'll say I have to give them something now that's worth it.
Okay, so you are starting exploring as you're talking, and you can get a good look at the nematodes. And immediately, by your specialty and your green fingers, you understand what they are doing. The facility was using the cyanobacteria to feed genetic modified bioreactors that created synthetic blood that is, for all intents and purposes, human-like, and it's feeding it to these nematodes. And as you look through a nearby microscope into a sample, you understand immediately that these nematodes are powerful symbionts, and by injecting them in the blood flow of someone, if one is strong enough to handle the initial infection, one becomes able to have a fine-tuned control about their own muscular and neuronal growth. So if one is willing to train and push their bodies to the limit, forming a symbiosis with these nematodes allows one to reach heights of control that are impossible for even the most dedicated engineer of tissue. And as you are appreciating this, Arikiv goes on about, well, we are very far away from home and dealing with dwelling resources. So I would say that if we are going to give you half of the living space here, it's only fair that your people help us settle in the homelands. Maybe you can find a place where we can build an enclave settlement of our own. I think it's only fair, because otherwise, I would say that we're going to need every single bit of space that we can get. And I'm sure that we can still be dealing, but it will be hard to have our people and your people all living here.
Yes. Sadly, the Habik do not own any lands of their own. They are spread far and wide in the homeland. But we do know of an opportunity to secure a living space. So perhaps with your assistance, we could conquer, take back the old train station. There is something there
that sounds like a good deal. A train station is usually a good place, defensible, easy to rebuild. For someone of the expertise of our family, that will be no challenge. I think we could work together in that. And she extends a hand to seal the deal.
Shit.
So we get to poor Patrick, that is not aware of this, and he and his enforcers sneaking around the lab, trying to lure the drones as they predate across the corners, and trying to get them closer to the corrosive gas released by the cyanobacteria vats. So what is the plan? Take them down? Escape?
The sledgehammers never escape. We see Patrick just like secures this. I imagine that the guy with the radio, he like pushes the device into some of his like pockets, or like hides it in his backpack, and just like grabs him, take it back to the family. And then he like removes his jacket. We see his like massive muscles. We see his like muscles are like growing, and he shouts like with like a really loud voice. And he shouts, "Witness me!" And everyone and all other soldiers just like make a sign like "Witness!" And then he like rushes forward, like grabs the drone with his massive muscles, throws it to the vent, and then he like grabs the other drone and goes with it to the acid vent. And there he goes. I mark the dead box, and I fiercely assault with a 10+.
Okay, so there are 3 things that are going to happen because you're an outsider. So first off, you pick 2 options from the fiercely assault. Then I pick 1. Then we're gonna have a bit of chaos.
Oh, it's so difficult because this character is like dying. I think if I can count on if my enforcers ever get back to the base, they can get back with 1 data, and they have a clear avenue of escape, because obviously the drones, unless I have to choose to inflict savage harm, I don't know.
No, because it's a hit, you deal damage, and you need the 2 hits to get rid of the drones, and you already did the other one.
Yeah, so I will choose that my enforcers have a clear line of escape, and that they escape with 1 data. Like, now we know that the drones are vulnerable to the
data and the device, because you had the computer that you secured before.
Of course.
So they're gonna make out with the device and the data. So you pick that, and what I pick is that something or someone important is harmed, and I'm gonna say the offshore platform itself. And because you are an outsider, by dying, you unleash all your strange powers. So what happens when Patrick bites the bullet and unleashes all his sheer potential?
Terrible energies plague the area. Yeah, I think we see that because Patrick used to like travel the wasteland outside of the safe zone. He grew a little bit mutated maybe, and now that his body is dying, we see this like strange energy. It's like the area exhibits like a small lightning storm. It's like we see like the ground is like electrocuted, and like some arcs of electricity are going through from metal piece to metal piece. So it's like a little bit dangerous area to scavenge. But yeah, I think we see his like body just slowly dying in the corner, and maybe someone can salvage something from it. Who knows?
Okay, we get to the other group, and as they are still reeling for the second explosion, then the third explosion happens, and you start to see the very pillars of the offshore platform to start to shake, and you can see what seems to be like a central thunderstorm that is rising from the water and electrocuting the first floor. And whatever is maintaining this strange storm is threatening to destroy the entire facility. What do you do?
Well, now I'm worried about the
Oh,
trajectory.
sorry, a small addendum. You can see the enforcers making to the way to the warboat, and you can see that they are evacuating. So you can safely assume that the mission was either successful or people are just abandoning it.
Okay. Let's. I think we need to start working our way to the top, as it's clearly sinking. What do you think? Hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll come across our allies on the way up.
So is this the storm? Is it causing the whole platform to sink? Do we feel that? Is it moving? Is the whole building moving? Or
It's destroying one of the pillars, so the entire thing might collapse if it continues.
Yeah, that seems pretty likely. So,
yeah, it's either go down to the shaft or go up, or we might be crushed if we go to the shaft, or go as far up as we can. Do we see the tower from here? The communication array?
It's pretty close. You're on the third floor. The tower is on the fourth. It's the Halifax is the only thing on the fourth, so you can make easily to the tower.
So if there's a stairway or something like that, I think I will start to climb up there. Maybe.
Okay, so you start to make your trip there, and it's quite high, and the winds are not behaving as you expect. It seems that beyond the direct effect on the pillar on the first floor, the storm is also warping the location. You are going to have to forge a path as you climb to the fourth floor.
Yeah, I guess the question is who of us is leading. I think Akhtar is probably still more affected from the radiation. So I think maybe, I don't know, Benny can help Nara.
well, but you were already outside the room, so you might be closer. So I'll be running after you.
Okay, if I'm closer, yeah, then I think even though weekend, maybe Akhtar is still, Akhtar is trying to find a way up. So forge a path, is that plus something or
Force.
force?
Plus
Okay,
force.
I think I'm minus. Yeah, minus. Okay. Yeah, that's a 6, unfortunately.
Okay, so as you are climbing up, you see the strange purple thunderbolt that strikes you. You take 2 harm.
Ouch. Is that for both of us?
No, only for him, unless you want to help him.
Ouch. Yeah, I'm going to I start to feel she's an outsider, so she's used to dealing with bad storms and maelstroms. And she cries out, "Flatten yourself against the ladder. Lightning's going to strike. This whole place is metal."
Okay, so do a call for aid with steel.
Steel.
Yeah.
My steel is it's a 1. Great. Okay. So, well, my dice have been really bad. She's laughing at me. My dice have sucked tonight. Let me delete the 1 extra one. All right, and re-roll and add 1. I got a 6.
So as you say that, he does that, but because it's
So we
poor
both gained a negative.
poor maelstrom lightning, it does not obey the laws of physical. So as it does that, the lightning bolt arches and strikes both of you. So both of you take 2 harm.
Yeah, electrocuted in the ladder.
So is anyone still alive?
I'm barely
Just-
alive. I mean, we still haven't taken the dead box, but hurt and mangled.
Okay, so
Mangled.
you arrive to the array, and you see not only the impressive communication array, there is an helipad, and there is a fully equipped helipad on it, and it has the same symbol that you did not see it, but you see a crescent moon with 3 stars. And speaking of that, we cut back to Arkiv. And so Arkiv and Akim, you are chatting on the second floor. And as the whole thing starts to shake, Arkiv tells you, "Grab the data. I have an helicopter on the 4th floor. Grab everything that you can and let's evacuate."
Yeah, she does. And she probably, if the Rangers made it, they probably storm up and sort of flank her once she's frantically pushing the nematodes and the synthetic blood into her bags. And a sort of a pang of bad conscience sets in, and it says, "Do you think that Patrick fellow is okay?"
I don't know. And he looks down at the Warwicks and the people as they sail away. It seems they've been evacuated. Don't worry about them. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay. She hustles after. She doesn't have the courage to check out below.
So as you climb the stairs to the 4th floor, it starts to rain. There's lightning bolts everywhere, and as you make up, the rain is going more and more intense, and it seems to be turning in the direction all the time, and you have the helicopter in the middle of the helipad, and from the other side you can see two figures approaching, and you can see that it's Akdar and Nara. And at first it seems that Arikiv is not reacting, but then she notices that Nara is one of the Benio, and she pulls out her machine gun and points it at Nara. What do you do? Oh yes, and they look awful. They look barely alive. They seem to have been taking a direct contact with psionic lightning.
I think Hakima says, Akhtar, get over. We're leaving. We're leaving with her.
Where's Patrick?
I don't know. But these boys are leaving. He's probably down here at Warwick. He's out for himself.
I think Akdar. Go ahead.
I say to her, put your gun down. I have to go find Patrick. You can leave. I'll find my own way out.
She seems pretty okay with that. She keeps the gun pointed at you, but she starts circling and approaching the helicopter.
Akdar says to Nara, don't squander your life like this. Your people is a great people. Save yourself. And I'm putting myself, Akdar is putting himself in front of, between him and between Nara and this alien, this other person who was pointing the gun at her. And he's trying to tell Nara to go to the helicopter with him.
His family has always helped my family, and they've been slandered as part of this. I must return him to his family, no matter how injured he is. It is the only honorable thing to do for our longtime allies.
Hakima says, come on, Akhtar.
And she just
gotta
jumps
go.
down the hatch, I guess, or the ladder. So she leaves.
She goes down.
Okay.
Find him.
So are we doing this entirely on fiction, or do you think that there is something that Akdar could do or say or negotiate that could sway Nara otherwise? Because if that is the case, we can find common ground to see what he proposes.
That's true. That is one of the moves.
I think Akdar wants to learn more about the venue, and he's laconic, but he wants to learn more about the venue and keep Nara alive, almost as a friend. So common ground is supposed to convince someone? Is it to convince her to stay with us, or offer also?
Yeah, it's to set the terms which they demand of you, and if you do, you convince them.
So either one of us could do it. So we could really both be doing it against each other. So I will say, help me. You've seen, he came only to clear his family's name. We must do what we can for him. It's clear that his family had no idea that these people were going to use their technology in the manner that they did. We must help him. And then
at the same time, I also point at the war rig, that's leaving, and people are coming back to it, and I say, if he's not among his troops, he's gone, and the best way to serve him would be to survive and tell the truth, survive another day and tell the truth to the world. I guess we're both trying it at the same time, but
well, I think we just make a roll with Benus Sway, and you get -1, so you're probably gonna be rolling with 0. And
yeah, go ahead. Why don't you make the roll?
So it's not an opposed roll. It's just one of us two is going to do it.
Yeah, because the idea is to set the terms. Then you can still refuse the terms.
Okay. So I have 0. I have 0 sway. Yeah. So or -1 if you. Yeah, -1 for me. Okay. Yeah, it's horrible. It's like 3.
Okay, so clearly there is no terms that you can propose to make her leave. But she can still persuade you to help her. So let's resolve Benu's role of find common ground to see if you help her.
At -1 as well, or just sway.
Just sway with -1, so 1 -1 0.
So 1 for me, +1. So got an 8 +1, 9.
Okay, so you can. So now, Hagdar, you can pick 2 things that you can demand from her to help her.
Sorry, which move is this?
Find common ground.
I reach into my pouch and I pull out a mark, and I hand it to him. Right, you're a him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you tell his story. You tell my story if I don't make it. Take this to my people. They will be indebted to yours. So you guys would gain 1 treaty on me, and I reveal my full agenda here, which is that if I die in the process, so be it. But the honorable thing would be to return him to his family for me. So, but you guys would be getting a treaty.
Would you be okay with that, or you want other things you want to ask from?
Nope, I'm fine with that.
No, actually, no. I mean Akdar, because it's Akdar that picks. I like the proposals, but he still has the final say.
Right.
Yeah, so taking that back, and telling his Nara story and Patrick's story is good with him. Yeah, that's fine, I think.
Okay, so the Hadik are going to get 1 treaty with Benio after this. So we get to Nara as she left alone in the platform as the helicopter flies away, being hit by lightning at least twice. And Nara is alone, and she can try to walk down the stairs or maybe try to control the storm. What does she choose, or she has another path in mind?
I think she's going to go straight to finding Patrick, and head back inwards.
Okay, so forge your path.
Yep. Yeah, that was a rain warning. 7.
Oh, not bad. So you pick 2.
The route I take is lost, and I can't take my gear or other characters with me.
So you have to drop anything.
I drop my gun. I drop. Well, that's really all I have other than my clothing. So.
And you submersible. Your path is lost.
Yeah, I put down the whatever it is that I can use to call it, whether it's some kind of like pinging sound. We don't have radar or radio, but whatever it is that I use. And yeah, I'm basically stripped down to just my clothes. And I guess I squeeze through some tight opening or something.
And you make your way to Patrick, and you see his body. Well, whatever is left with it, It's basically you can see what remains of his impressive regal uniform. You can see his skeleton, and you can see bluish light that seems to be irradiated from big patches of bacteria moving around it, emanating a cloud of toxic chemicals, as well as generating these massive bolts of electricity. You can approach the body without problem because you're protected by your breathing apparatus. What they do?
Muted. I approach, and if there's an insignia that represents his symbol or any, whatever represents him, I remove it and I take that with me, and then I examine the blue glowing thing.
You get the feeling that whatever there is a part of Pratik and his desires that still lives on this colony that is living on his body, and that the devastation that is going outside is the lingering intent to destroy the droid attackers. And if that will can be subdued, you can probably calm the storm.
Okay. So I'm going to try to do that.
So you're gonna unleash power. So we're gonna roll plus lore. And I'm gonna give you advantage because you are an outsider. This is exactly what you supposedly do yourself.
But the outsider need to take harm to get.
It's not that ability, it's just a situational ability because he's trying to because what she's trying to do because she's an outsider, it's easier for her than other people.
I got an 8. Did you hear I got an 8?
So pick two of the options of unleash power.
So this was Forgotten Lore, right? Unearth.
Unleash power, actually.
Da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to I did exactly what I wanted, and I avoid the side effects.
So seize control over the device, and you subdue the lingering will of Patrick, and the storm subdues, and the device cannot be used again. You can feel the whatever intellect and purpose lingered on the bacteria is gone, but it's still a remarkable find. And you collect the sample and you start to feel hear something. uh, and you can hear the other types of drones that were part of the first and second floor defenses, that now that the overwhelming presence of the overwhelming presence of the storm is gone, they are coming for you, and you can hear the drones surrounding you, and you are just so tired. It's a good thing that Akdar never made it into the helicopter. And Akdar, as now that the path is clear and you get the jump on the drones, how do you save Nara?
Sorry, I was a bit confused with the discussion of the chat, the negotiation.
So the thing is, supposedly we had this moment between Nara and Akdar, and Nara go, tell my tale, get on the helicopter, and we saw the helicopter leave.
Okay, so it
And
was
the
too late. Okay.
assumption, the assumption was like Akdar was on the helicopter. Now we discovered that Akdar was not on the helicopter and is on a position in which they can save Nara from the activating drones. And how do they do that?
So Nara is he saw where Nara went to find Patrick, right? Or
Yeah. The thing is, he could not brave the storm on the state that it was. But the moment that she disabled the storms, just as the drone reactivated and followed, so did Akdar.
I think he just wants to I don't know, drag Nara's body. Is she unconscious? He finds Nara's body and
No. Nara is still conscious. She's just tired.
Okay.
And vulnerable because she was not expecting the drones, but you are.
Yeah. I think Benny and Akdar are just gonna try to either fall on the are the drones high in the sky, or just fall on the drones, or get between the drones and Nara.
So Akdar falls in from the sky right as the time that the drones are, and they both jump on Benny and make their way to the water. And that's it. And we zoom out as, against all odds, you manage to escape. So we zoom out. So let's take.
Do we do a eulogy though for Patrick first?
Yeah, that's the thing. We can make. We're gonna resolve all this kind of stuff. So first of all, you can make an elegy. So. Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would return, and I would tell the tale of his bravery in battle against completely overwhelming odds, which allowed the rest of us. Not only did it allow for the clearing of any culpability of the sledgehammers whatsoever, but it proved yet again the bravery of their mighty warriors and their selflessness in battle. And I, weave in whatever kind of niceties that I would want. But and I return the relic of him, or whatever the device was, and that's what we do.
And now we got a lot of devices, so let's see if we don't forget all of them. So let's go by families, I think. Let's start with the sledgehammers. Sledgehammers, they got one data, and they also got one device because they were able to salvage this hyper advanced personal computer.
Yeah, I noted this one data, one tech. And also, Scott, you got something from Eulogy. You have to pick one from what you got from the sledgehammers.
You pick it, not me. The player's family picks it.
Oh, okay. The family gives your family to treat your friend counts as a member.
It doesn't make sense because they're quick characters, but the other two, I'm fine whatever way you want to go.
I think that the last one is the most interesting. My next characters were to perform a task of your choosing.
Great. Yeah, I thought that was the most narratively interesting in this situation. That's cool. All right, I'll put a note on the family sheet.
Yeah. So the band you got the reactor. That is a device. You also got Patrick's body. That's another device. Am I missing anything that the band you got?
No.
Okay, so you got 2 tech from that. Now, the family that got a lot of things from this. So, you got the synthetic blood. You got the nematodes. That's 2. You also, what am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something.
So the nematodes are what's used to produce the blood, right? Or
No, the nematodes were being fed by the synthetic blood. The cyanobacteria were creating the synthetic blood. The nematodes is the thing that has the potential to transform Akima.
I'm not sure we got anything else because we had to the enclave got the long range communicator, didn't they? It was part of the deal.
Yeah, that's true. So okay, so you get 2 devices. So the Hadik get 2 tech, and we zoom out.
and one more last thing: do the Hadik still get the 1 treaty from Nara for saving her life, or maybe from Akhtar? Or no? I don't know. I don't know if we count that. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
I think I added it actually.
Okay.
you also give 1 treaty to the enclave, either they become a faction or not. Now we zoom out and we see the threat being resolved. So why don't any of the players that the family describes what the families react to the fallout of the operation on the offshore platform? And we're gonna start on the order of the character sheet. So we're gonna start with the family that lost one of their most promising young people, Sledgehammers.
And you want me to describe what?
So basically, after the situation changes, as we zoom out, after there was been an analogy for the Patrick, after the situation has been addressed, and after it became apparent that there is a new faction moving in, what does the Sledgehammers do?
I think that we see, of course, some overly prepared funeral ceremony for Patrick, and the leader of the Sledgehammers announces that he will be forming a council of all of the families where they can talk and they can inform each other and avoid misinformation, so that such a tragedy would not happen again, and that we are better prepared to deal with newcomers or other threats.
Or do you say that you are trying to create leadership?
Kind of, yeah.
Hey, that's a nice follow-up. Next, we see the reaction of the Hadik, and there seems that there might be some characters within the Hadik that might be changing their roles in the structure. And there is also a train station that is a new target. So what do we see of the gardeners?
Yeah, I think maybe you see it like you see the Hadik and the Enclave working together to secure this train station, and they of course the Hadik they only want to share the land, so it's in the end they end up with sort of their own patch and are growing in the train station if that's successful. But also there's probably a bit of whispering about the Hadith now, right, between the other two families. That although they remain on official good terms, there's nobody quite knows how Patrick got killed. So they're whispering about this young upstart Hakima of the Hadith. And you see her injecting these nematodes into her blood and changing in some way. You see them sort of moving underneath her skin.
Yeah, and the Benio, they have quite the bittersweet reaction. I mean, they also lost a lot. They have to accept an invader in their undersea territories because of the disputed status of the enclave and the Hadig on the offshore platform. But there is no doubt that Nana was a hero for the Benio, and her name is chanted across the homelands. So how did the Bennu react to these changes in the landscape?
I think what they do is they grudgingly accept the enclave, but request, since their ability to expand land has been decreased further. I think what they do is they try to negotiate. What are my needs other than land? Transport, land, scouts. I think they try to negotiate if or trade for some scouts to try in to help them with their land need. It's from the other families is they are taking on basically a hit. So they're trying to get they're trying to turn a negative into a positive for them.
Okay, and as we see two families seizing land and another trying to reorganize themselves into something capable of a new challenge. So, with that, so what can you tell us, Vasilis? Are you going to make a new family? Is it going to be the Enclave or something else?
I think the Enclave, yeah, it sounds interesting narratively. I don't know how much of I think a big, I assume a big part of the game can also be not player versus player, but factions with possibly competing goals, because it seems like the Enclave is a competitor to the Bennu.
Yeah, I mean, we have, almost all of us have land as a need, so everybody's look, at the macro level, looking for and trying to gain more land.
Yep.
And then what are their other overlapping needs? So it just depends. Obviously, we did seem to have a lack in lore on that mission, which would probably be a strength.
I think it makes sense to continue with the Enclave. It's interesting.
Okay, so now a question to the table. Do you think the arrival of the Enclave is enough to cause a change in the age? Or are we still in the first stage?
I think we need to change the age anyway, so the conflict was resolved. And this will actually allow us to make sure that the new faction settles in, that we form some like histories other than this brief stuff. So I think it definitely takes time.
Okay, so I guess we can have a skip into the second age next time, in which we see already when the enclave already became a natural part of the environment. And I think for next session, we are ready to bring our main characters, and that will be the leaders of the future.
From the RSVP, it looks that only me and Vasilis are going to be next week, so we'll see.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm away with family. Okay.
Yeah, at a game conference. But my family is
okay.
available for any of the stand-ins to use a quick character for.
Okay, I guess we can actually have something focused on the enclave and on the sledgehammers, which will be good for Vasilis to focus. Yeah, maybe then, that's okay. Let's see next week then. But anyway, that gives more time to make the main characters and whatnot. Okay, see you guys next time then. Thanks for this session.
Cool.
Are you guys okay with me uploading this?
Sure.
Perfectly fine.
Okay. See you.